Welcome back to our silk reeling series. Today we're going to discuss Tong. Tong is one of the foundational states, I guess you could describe it as, for being in a Tai Chi state of mind or a Tai Chi flow or just doing Tai Chi. The first one is Song, which is our relaxed energy, we're at attention, but there's no extra tension in that. All of our muscles are only working at their minimum, always ready to be called into use later on if we need. But for the most part, basically, if it doesn't absolutely need to be switched on, it's not switched on. 2 would be Kong, which is our empty or meditative state of mind, where we're not too bothered about things that are going on. We're not distracted by stuff. Sure, things are happening and we're noticing things, and ambulances are going by, dishwashers are going off upstairs, 2-year-olds are dropping things, but we maintain a calm state of mind where we're focused on our task, and that is what we are doing. When it comes to Tong could be translated as the free movement of energy within the body. Meaning nothing gets stuck anywhere. Everything is able to move, everything is able to relax, everything is able to keep going. Even if something gets stuck in one particular direction, there's always another direction for it to go in, or multiple other directions for it to go in. And that is what we're really trying to cultivate with our silk reeling practice, that everything is always in constant motion. Everything is constantly moving. Everything is always changing, like drawing out the silk and having it spin and spiral. We just keep drawing more and more silk. To get ourselves to this Tong state, where everything always has another place to go, another movement, what we can start doing is we can start combining the various planes that we've been working on. Our YZ plane that we started on, our X and Z plane that we moved on to, and then our X and Y plane. And we can simply keep drawing circles. So if I draw a circle on my Y and Z plane, can I keep that circle going on my X and Z plane? Why, yes. Yes, I can. It can keep moving around and around and around. Can I hand it off to my other hand and keep it going? Maybe I keep it going on a different plane. Maybe this one goes on my XY plane, and I keep this circle happening. And as it comes down here, how do I keep it going? Well, perhaps it goes out on this Y and Z plane on this side. And perhaps I grab it in a reverse of the other hand and pick it up, and it moves on my XY axis here. And I do a squiggle with it. And my squiggle comes out onto the YZ plane. And I move it there. And I squiggle this. And then that comes around, and I wrap that, and I stir a bathtub. And I do a squiggle here. And then I hand that off, and I stir the bath with the other hand. And I keep going round and around in as many different planes and actions as I possibly can. I like to challenge my students to come up with their own patterns, their own variations. And it really is just a process of saying, can I make this one go into this one? Or how do I change from this particular exercise into that particular exercise? What's that sort of transition point? How would I get from A to B? How would I get from one side of my body to the other side of my body? How do I hand this off? Where do I hand it off? I've been handing stuff off at the bottom here, but honestly, you can hand stuff off at the top too, right? How does this work? Right? What are all the various patterns that I can come up with? I recommend them treat it like kids games, like, you know, when you're doing hopscotch and you throw out a rock and oh, you can't step on number 7 now, and you got to figure out a way to complete your task with a certain restriction or a certain limitation or within certain parameters. Our parameters are, we got to draw circles and squiggles. We got to spiral in, we got to spiral out. How we accomplish that is up to our own creativity, our own imagination, feeling how our body wants to move, how stuff wants to resolve, how things want to transfer from one side into the other side. You can do these with our doubles. They can work on different planes at the same time, right? There's really no end to the amount of variations you can do with this. And you just keep circling, keep spiraling, keep relaxing. Oh, it goes there, it gets a little stuck. Well, I'm just gonna move it this way then, all right? And then I'm gonna work on this circle. Oh, that one's getting a little stuck. Well, maybe I'll just do this circle then, all right? And you can just keep these movements going in any which way. The purpose of this is really just to hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration. Put on some music that you just feel really good moving around to. It's got whatever kind of a beat to it, feels really nice and smooth, and you're like, yeah, I can just get into this, right? And I can just draw circles. I can create one-handed circles, two-handed circles. I can go in any direction I want. I can go in different directions. However you want to do this, practice. Create yourself little challenges. What happens if I do one circle with my left arm and one circle with my right arm, a different circle of going in different directions? And have fun with it, play with it. If you come up with any really challenging combinations, fire them in the comments below, see how people make out with them. And above all, put a smile on your face, have fun. Thanks for joining me. Take care.